we're live.
We could just...
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Lynn? Before.
I was gonna say we could just hang out for a bit, but okay.
We've been hanging out for a bit.
How you doing, buddy?
I feel like this is like the first time that, we just kind of jumped right into it. We didn't have like a waiting screen.
I feel like the waiting screen was me fumbling to get the panicking to get OBS to work with the stream. That's our hangout session. Was listening to me.
Super fun.
I know, listening to me have a whole panic attack over trying to get stuff together, but it's all together. We're fine. We're kosher. It's beautiful.
Oh my god, whiskey.
Whiskey is excited. I'm excited. Hi. Welcome to Demiplanes and Doodles.
Hello.
This is a fun Saturday. Yeah, yes.
This is a train wreck.
Oh my god. Welcome to Demiplanes and Doodles. This is our Saturday stream hosted by me, Vic, and Lynn that's somewhere in the walls as always eating the spaghetti. The colorful spaghetti that messes with my electric. And next to us we have a wonderful, beautiful chat mom.
Hi. I'm sorry, I'm drawing something and I'm removing that because that was cursed.
What? No, it needs to stay on the page forever.
Oh my god.
Oh, I see.
That's
Oh.
Up to you.
Hello, sir.
He's working. Oh my goodness.
My.
There's a lot of energy tonight.
There is. Okay, wait, hold up. I'm noticing a thing happening with my audio, and I need to fix it real quick. I don't know why it's doing this. So apologies while I figure out stuff ahead of... That's what's happening. Okay,
yeah.
That makes more sense. Lynn, say words to me.
I will say all of the words to you.
Thank you for saying all the words to me. Okay, that makes my life a lot easier. Okay. So I was like, why is the... why was my audio coming from somewhere that wasn't my headphones? But we're good now. It's all good. Train wreck is happening today.
Very exciting.
Yes.
Happening.
So excited that this is happening. As yes, things had happened that don't need to be said because I figured it out and we fixed it and now we're amazing and professional again. So hi, we're gonna just say hi again. Officially.
What's up, guys?
My mic is plugged.
Yeah,
let's just chill for a minute. My mic is plugged in. It's just my computer didn't want to recognize that my mic existed for a minute, as Discord does. So
I need to get a drink.
That's how all our night's going.
Cold.
All right, fine. I guess I'll just run through the announcements real quick while you go and get your drink. So let's just roll through announcements awkwardly as I try to remember what it's like to be a person on this plane of existence. As far as announcements go, as always, we have our friends at Talon and Claw, which make wonderful, beautiful tabletop related products, all made with wood. You can have dice, wooden dice. They have these wonderful couple sets. Like you can either get like a giant chunky D20 by itself, or you can get like a full polyhedral set. You have their dice vaults. So you can just get like a single council of 7 or council 11. Excuse me. You can get I'm fumbling so hard here. You can get their dual hex dice vaults. They have dice trays. They have DM screens. They have spell slot trackers now, and they're doing something really awesome for the month of October, which is one part of October is breast cancer awareness, and so they are doing something related to breast cancer awareness where they have this wonderful pink dice vault that can be purchased, and proceeds will go to the allotted charity that they have chosen. So that's really awesome. But other than that, you could also go into their Etsy shop. All their information is down below. And with that, we have a coupon code you can use, which is Divine Conquer, that you can put in at checkout. You get 10% off on your Talon and Claw purchase. So that's pretty awesome.
Correct.
Thank you, Lynn, for coming back at the last minute.
I had to get my drink. I'm sorry.
Okay, fair. What are we drinking tonight, Lynn?
Let's see. It's 11 p.m. my time, and I have Code Red Mountain Dew.
Fantastic.
With a little kick.
And it's gonna be 3 hours later, and you're gonna be like, I cannot sleep.
I'm gonna be messaging you at 5 in the morning, just being like, we need to draw professional art. Giuseppe.
Giuseppe needs his own. Giuseppe needs his own art. So,
Anyway,
As we sound like raving lunatics mentioning this thing that has not once been mentioned live. So, first and foremost, I'm going to be that obnoxious person that has to point out that there's somebody special whose birthday is coming up. And I'm going to do a birthday shout out for Tabitha
yay!
as she's giving me the hardest death glare from across the way.
It's
I
like the
love you,
equivalent of when you go to a
I
restaurant.
love you too.
When you go to a restaurant and then they sing you the happy birthday song, and you're like, please.
This
end
is
me.
this is yeah. See, I could be throwing a sombrero on you and giving you a plate of free sopapillas and singing the most awkward birthday song as everyone in the restaurant stares at you. I could be doing that right now.
It could be worse.
It could be worse. It
My
could
God.
be. It could be worse. Speaking of, it could be worse.
Talk about the bros.
Let's talk about the bros. Let me want to jump in on that one.
Yeah, so Vic and I are bringing a passion project of ours to life. We are making a webcomic, and it is currently up on Webtoons. It uploads every other Monday. We do a chapter every other Monday. And if you guys want, you can be a Patreon sponsor for as little as $1 a month, and you guys will get extras. Every Friday, the Patreons get something extra, or they get the comic early. So if you want to do that, throw us $1. It helps us out.
Throw us a whole $1.
One whole $1. And our lowest tier is $1 a month, and then our highest tier is 13, right?
It is $13, and that is our Zesty tier.
Correct. Do you want to talk about the Zesty tier?
I can talk about the Zesty tier. So, guys, for $13 a month, which is basically our highest tier, not only do you get all of the benefits of all of the other tiers in our Patreon, but on top of that, you get some super spicy Zesty art that Lynn and I draw once a month that never graces the internet ever. And you get to see all of the things that we definitely would never show our parents. So, or your pastor. So yeah, you check out
I've lost you.
What?
I've lost you. Where'd you go?
You lost me?
You cut out for like a solid 10 seconds, and I was like, oh my god.
I was communing with the Zesty tier. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
How about we don't sing it live on Monday?
We can all sing Happy Birthday live on Monday. I mean, hey, that's also a stream that I'm in charge of. It's almost as if I have control over whether or not that happens. But anyway,
Rude.
So subscribe to our Zesty tier if you so wish, if you need that extra zest in your life.
Correct. But let's move on. What are we talking about tonight, Vic?
We are putting the fun in fundamentals, bro.
Do you want to switch over to the title screen?
Please put me, please put me out to pasture. That was terrible.
Boo.
I hope only Addie would laugh at that joke, and only Addie.
Addie would laugh at that joke. Let's be honest.
To me.
He would just stare at me for like a solid 3 seconds, and then just go ah, and then that's all I'd get.
Correct.
All right, so fundamentals. As we are here on this wonderful title screen, Lynn, what is happening on over here? What is all this?
Disaster.
It's a
Disaster.
So explain to me like I never spent $23,000 for a degree.
God.
Yeah.
So over here, which is I'll do this. Yay. So over here on this side, this is your standard textbook how to draw a face, like measurements. And we'll get into this later, but that's just kind of what I sketched over here. The measurements of a proper human face.
This
and
is what
how
you
they relate to each other.
Yes.
And you will get this drilled into your head.
Oh yeah. You crack open the textbook that you spend like $80 on, and it's on page 5.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And I will say that we've been doing artwork for years, decades,
centuries.
Like between the two of us, probably like 50 years or something.
50 years.
But you drew Grayson over there in
I
like
did.
line work, and I would just like to show everyone that Vic did this completely separate, like just side by side.
Lynn had
And
already set this up like maybe 10 minutes prior to me jumping on the demiplane, and I just like
Yes.
knocked out a Grayson just like in 5 minutes.
Yeah, and I would just like to move him over here to show the proportions match almost exactly. I mean, you give or take or whatever.
Give or take, but essentially I know exactly where things are supposed to align.
Correct.
Which comes from years of studying, wizard school.
In a wizard school, yeah, pretty much.
The better one, the better wizard school that doesn't belong to certain titles. ...
I just thought that was interesting because we just did these separate. But,
yeah.
You already have clearly an idea of how the proportions of a face are, and that comes with experience. But we're gonna talk about all of that.
Yeah, it's honestly so funny because I was just like, the first time you did that, you're like, whoa, look at this, and you moved my stuff over, and I was like, I did that.
Oh,
yeah. that's what years of experience looks like. Oh, okay. I wasn't even like, it's so funny. It's like one of those things where, how do you teach something that you just innately know now? Like, how do you just instinct, like something that you just do on instinct, you now have to sit and explain it. And that's why wonderful, beautiful Tabitha's here, and we are going to help her on her journey to master her art. Since you have been delving back into doing art. I know we spent many years sketching stuff together, and you've had piles and piles of sketchbooks that I've always loved to look through. And so I'll let you talk. You talk about it.
Where do I even begin?
Just say words. Just say words.
Words.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
No.
So because I know in high school where we met,
yes.
you did a lot of doodling and a lot of drawing, and there was like a period of time where we were like just drawing every day together.
Yeah. I don't know, like, it was mainly a lot of, like, anime and manga stuff.
Hey, same here. That's exactly what I did.
I did not do that.
Yeah, no.
Okay, Lynn.
Just saying.
Yeah, it was that. We did have a couple of art classes together. With that, I did a lot of traditional 2D, art, but it was just a little bit of a means to pass time, and I don't know, after a while I stopped doing it.
Would you say it's because it was burnout or because you just never had time?
I think a bit of both.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just I was pretty much done with it for like the longest time.
So what inspired you to get back into it?
Well, getting a drawing tablet for one.
That does make a difference.
To probably actually having more time.
Yeah.
Of an evening to actually go back and actually draw. Mm-hmm. And yeah, just it's been fun trying to learn how to do stuff on digital. Granted, I don't have any fancy programs yet. I do have draw piles.
But you have a boyfriend with a fancy program.
But I'm too nervous to
use it. Abuse it.
Abuse it.
I don't like to abuse.
Don't abuse me. Abuse the program. I have
Clip Studio deserves it.
Clip Studio totally deserves it. Don't say that, then it's gonna crash on me again. As I have always said before, like, you have full reign of using my craptastic computer that I've had through all of college, I think.
This one is? I thought this was a newer one.
No, I can't remember how many computers I went through. My dad will probably be the first one to tell you. He'll pull up the receipts and be like, look at this. Although, okay, now that I'm remembering, I had I think my first laptop was when I started going to university, I think.
No, you had one in late high school.
Okay, late high school I had one. That was my first one. And I think that one tanked because I have younger siblings that like to like to use the older siblings' fancy new technology, and so they would jump on it, and then they would go on all the websites that would give it all the viruses, and then it just crashed and burned. Same thing happened to like my second one, I think. That was when my brother went into he found a sudden interest in Pirate Bay, and then my computer crashed and burned hard from that one. And now I have this one all to myself, and funnily enough, it has lasted me years because nobody has touched it and gone on illegal websites and downloaded things they shouldn't have. Imagine that. But yeah, so I have a fancy laptop. It's not that fancy. What?
Nothing. I can't hear anybody.
You can't hear anybody? Lynn has not said a word. Lynn, say words.
Right. I'm here. I'm here still.
I know.
Listening to you too.
She's so far from the mic. She's like all the way on the ground, like by her mouse hole. I know.
I was being respectful and listening to your story.
But yeah, no, I have a laptop. I have a fancy clip studio that you have full freedom to use. I have a fancy... I don't want to say how much this tablet was. Lynn knows how much this tablet is because Lynn has purchased this tablet.
Correct. Well, my tablet's different.
Yeah. I think what's the dimensions on yours? As we talk specs on this real quick.
Hold on.
Mine's a 13.
Ow.
Mine's a 13. That's all you need to know.
And we're talking about our Cintiqs, by the way.
We're measuring. We're whipping them out and measuring them right now.
I'm trying to find the box. Hold on.
You're finding the box.
I was gonna say, then there's me just sitting over here with my Surface Pro.
Hey, that's pretty.
Tablet.
Hey, I know a certain DM that also has a Surface Pro, and he takes crazy amounts of notes on them and does his like art and stuff on it as well. So it's pretty useful. I'm actually jealous of that because that's like an all-in-one, and I would kill for that.
Except for
I think this is a 16.
Once in a while.
Whoa, 16? Okay, I'm gonna just shyly tuck mine away.
I have the Cintiq is the most recent thing that I bought, and then before that, I also bought myself the iPad Pro 11.
Yeah, and
so
you have
the newest one, the 11-inch.
And you had the fancy Procreate that I always want to try.
I told you we're gonna meet up. I'm gonna let you play on the Procreate because it'll change your life.
Let me play on the Procreate. All right, I'm gonna save this real quick.
Yes, I already saved it on my end, so we're good.
I forgot how to spell.
So
Wes is taking over my head.
both of you started art in high school.
I would say
Middle school
for sure. I think the earliest that I started drawing things for myself, and because I had like either no desire for standardized learning.
Correct.
Was I think the 5th grade was when I started doing that, because it was like, so here in the land of Texas, I don't know anybody else that does this. So sometimes I feel it's just a Texas thing, because I mention this and people look at me like, what the fuck are you talking about? We have this thing called standardized testing where we take out 3 months out of learning things that are useful just to learn how to take a test. Yeah. And so we do those tests, and it's like it blocks out the entire day. You spend maybe 2 hours on a test, and then you spend like the rest of the day waiting for people to finish their tests. And so that just gives you a lot of free time. So sometimes what my teachers would do is they would just give me scrap paper once I turned my test in, and I would just sit there and just doodle on it, and suddenly I just was drawing shit. Because I didn't have the attention span to finish books sometimes. What's happening here? Fundamentals.
Yes.
See, I remember in middle school, I took art classes and stuff, but I really wasn't too serious in it. But I was in gifted art program to where, I could leave school and, go to another school that was better than ours and, do art stuff. We went to, a big school, and we would go into their art class, and, we made, claymation movies and stuff. Mm-hmm. I don't remember any of it.
That is so cool.
Yeah, and then in high school, I was in the art club because, of course, I was.
What a nerd!
Yeah, but I remember distinctly being in middle school, and because with our school buses, we would have to the middle schoolers would get picked up first, and then we go pick up the high school kids because they were not too far away from each other.
Right,
And
right.
I remember like Lord of the Rings came out around that time, like the Fellowship of the Ring, when I was like in 8th grade or something. And I would draw portraits of like the Fellowship,
Would you
and I thought my shit was hot shit, and I would
hot
like
shit, bro?
I would like put it on the side of the bus seat to like show
Bro,
off, and I'm
same.
I was
Oh
such an
man,
asshole.
God, I
did
remember
that in
doing that.
middle school, but that was when I did paper mache.
I remember you telling me about your paper mache stuff.
Yeah.
Oh.
Big ass dragon that took me.
Man, I would be
forever
like-
to do that. I would stay after school with one other kid. Funny enough that I
Yeah.
was making a dragon and they were making a Balrog. So
You were in the right place then. But man, I would draw like, okay, I'm gonna draw out this character that I used to draw in middle school, and I'm gonna try to draw it as exactly to my style in middle school as I can. But like, okay, so I had like, this is actually gonna be really funny, and if Jeremiah is watching, God, I hope he's watching. This is gonna be really fucking funny. So let me see if I can remember how to do this. So he was like, nobody laugh, nobody laugh. Nobody fucking laugh at me. Nobody fucking laugh. And I
Were
was
you
like,
the inventor of Angry Birds?
no, but I was apparently the inventor of a certain bird. And I didn't even notice. I'm trying to draw this as shitty as possible. I can't remember if he wore shorts or some shit. I remember he wore sneakers, and that was weird. Like, so I was like, in middle school, I was like obsessed with like Sonic the Hedgehog and all the, like the world building and lore to it. So I wanted to make my own character for it. So I made like this bird dude that had a samurai sword.
Oh my god.
I would draw this dude a lot, and then I would just like leave my sketchbook like on the side of the desk, just like, yeah, look at this shit. This is peak art. This is peak art right here. His name
God.
was Buzzy.
as
my
I
God.
look over at chat, Shortbeard, I have not taken over your head, Vic. We're just dumb.
Oh, West, it's okay. We're just
Sweet
hecking
hecking
dumb.
Nice testing. Boo hiss.
Oh god. So, as I was writing down the list for our fundamentals that we are going to be talking about, because I was so mesmerized by Lynn
Shading
talking about
on
this
there.
super cool art school stuff.
Shading on there.
Shading, yeah, value.
Oh.
So we're gonna get into it.
Yeah,
Texture.
we'll get into that. But I'm trying to think of like, I never got into comic stuff until high school, until like my junior or senior year, and that was because we had the comic book artist David Mack. He's a watercolor comic book artist, and he does like a comic book art called like Kabuki, like I think.
Yeah.
And, like I think he does Wolverine. He does Spider-Man too. But he actually graduated from my high school apparently.
What?
And, yeah, I don't know. And like my art teacher taught him as a student, and like he would come into class all the time, like once a year for the art students, and he'd be like, "Hey, this is what I do," and I'm like, "I want to do this,"
Oh man.
but I never like did anything with it. Like that was my senior exit project. Like in our neck of the woods, when you're a senior, you have to do a huge presentation about what you want to do after you graduate high school and present it into the entire senior body.
No, thank you.
Yeah,
Absolutely no thanks. That is
I did
terrible.
mine on comic book art.
I'm gonna get rid of this dude.
But I went to college for like a year as a bachelor of fine arts drawing major.
Nice.
And I hated every minute of it. and then I
BFA.
left. Yeah.
I finished my
Bachelor of Fine
BFA.
Arts.
Yeah.
But no, I had to leave just because it was expensive and like all that other.
No, that totally makes sense.
Yeah, so now I'm all self-taught. But
And look at you now. Look at you.
I do realism is like my jam, but I started doing comic stuff within like the past year or so.
Oh,
Oop, oop.
look at that.
I think it's 2 years now.
But hey, like that's impressive.
Well, you know why it was so easy to pick up? Because of these.
Whoa, we're getting into it. So fundamentals, as we're gonna get real boring real quick.
it's necessity.
What are the fundamentals of art? Other than a necessity.
Line shape, value, color, texture, space.
Texture
There's
and space.
apparently like, because I googled these to like make sure they were correct, and apparently there's like more that they've added now that there's digital art. Because
What?
when we were growing up, we didn't have digital art.
No, we did not.
Really?
I had a piece of paper and a charcoal stick.
Yep.
And
So,
they weren't even the
apparently
good
there's-
charcoal sticks. They were like the crappy ones that came in like that pack.
Yeah.
They would just like the second you look at it, it just
the
disintegrates.
The compressed charcoal. You mean?
That yes. Like you just stare at it and it just like turns to dust and you're like, oh no.
Oopsies.
Whoops a daisy.
There's
Nice.
a good boy for you.
The goodest of boys.
He saw the word fun and had to join.
Aw. He's like, I like to have fun.
Yeah, bros.
So, yeah, so essentially fundamentals of art is these are basically your basic tools for you know, I would say improving your art. It doesn't matter at what level you're learning at. It's always important to sometimes revisit them so that you could maybe pick up some new tips and tricks. Like maybe you want to try a different style. Like for instance, like how Lynn started with realism first, and then decided to take her foray into comic and stylized art.
It's
And
funny
then-
though because in school, like you've heard this, Vic, you got to know how to draw realism before you draw stylized stuff.
You're not allowed to draw anime in this class. That's what I was told.
Yes, 100%. Everyone kept getting mad too, and everyone's like, "I want to draw this," and it's.
But
fine,
I want to
can
draw
do it.
this cute anime waifu, please.
But the reason for that is because you're learning a specific style that's already exaggerated, I guess, and like you're not understanding how to make it your own because you're only looking at someone else's It's like a game of telephone.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That does make sense. A lot of my learning anime styles came through tracing over like comic panels that I would see like in like the books I'd get from the library. So like I would get like a Ranma 1/2 book, and I'd be like, oh, I really like this pose, and I really like this how this looks. So I like literally just slapped like a loose leaf, wide ruled paper on top of it. Take my ballpoint pen, and I would just trace right over it and be like, yes, art.
That's how I learned how to do it.
Yeah.
But I think that the things the teachers would always say is like, you know, you're learning someone else's very specific style, and when you try to deviate from it to make it your own, you're not going to understand how the anatomy works, or like it's going to look off.
Yeah.
And
Oh
then
no, I
that's
totally
where-
get that. Yeah, because I've seen I think like everybody's seen like those panels that were shared, like some like some manga art that was like shared a lot on the internet, where like you would have like a character standing
where
there,
hands are huge,
like the hands are
something.
massive. Like you have like the one character who's like his head's like that big, but his shoulders are like this wide. Like
Yeah.
So a basic grasping of anatomy is always important.
And I was gonna say something. I forgot what it was. But yeah, like I remember a lot of people getting mad because they couldn't draw anime.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
It's fine, yeah. Like, you know, if you want to draw anime, you can draw anime. That's totally cool. Like, everybody has their preferred style. Everybody has their preferred comfort. So it's just how, yeah.
I highly suggest learning realism before that.
Right.
At
right.
least you don't have to be good at it, but just understand it.
Yeah, I think we should start. We should definitely start with our subject here. Tabitha, what's something that you would like to learn to help improve your art style? Like, what's something that you feel? Yeah.
Or a question, or something you've heard, or anything like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You don't know? What's something that, okay, so say that you're in the moment, you're working on, like, you're trying to draw coal out. What's something that you find yourself, I guess, struggling with the most?
I'm looking at everything that's listed here. I don't know. Sometimes when it is like just trying to find a pose, that will be a thing that I just get frustrated with.
Yeah, I get it. So, like, just, I guess, posing?
Posing is one of my major.
Okay. So, I think, running through my computer brain, which is full of dust and bugs, I think that, definitely falls a lot. Hello? Is there a dog howling outside? No, it's a siren, and the dog is alerted. He's just staring at the door like, what is happening? No.
It's spooky season.
No, I don't want... No, we're not talking about Siren Head. I absolutely refuse. Okay. No.
Okay, moving on.
So I think that would fall under shape and space, I guess, depending on what your piece is.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Well, let's preface this by saying Vic is going to be doing posing, your shapes, and anatomy, and like the rules for that, and then because you're kind of the master of this. Because I'm still learning.
Excuse me.
And well, I say that because you know, Vic, you were one of my inspirations.
What?
I'm not gonna lie.
What?
I told you that before.
Don't fucking lie to my face.
I'm not lying to your face. You know I've said that to you.
He's an inspiration for me too.
I need y'all to stop talking to me about me. I need this to stop right now.
Well, like it's funny because like I do realism stuff. That's what I grew up on. That's what I've always done. So like seeing you be able to just whip out these really awesome posing and like stylized characters, I can't do that. That is very difficult for me to do. So seeing you do it so easy is very inspiring for me.
I mean, I think a lot of it, a lot of contribution to this would probably come from the media that I have consumed in my lifetime, which because
we know I don't consume any media.
You don't consume anything. You just sit in a dark little corner on a empty cardboard box, just staring into the void. Just every so often, you open your mouth and you consume one electrical wire. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
As Jesus stated, I asked him to join Sacred World game after I saw his art because it's amazing. Fun fact.
What? Stop it! And now you get to make me cry weekly. That's awesome.
But anyway, that's what I was getting at there.
I'm short-circuiting. I mean, yeah, because like a lot of stuff that I grew up on and that I kind of like absorbed in my time as a human on this plane of existence was a lot of my dad literally raised me on DC Comics, so I would be always like I think I spent a lot more time looking at the comic book covers than I did actually reading them. Like every so often I would actually like flip one open and like kind of read through it, but like especially when I was younger, I would just go through his stack of like Silver Age comics and I would just like look at the covers and just stare at them and just be like, whoa, this is cool. And like they would always have like some kind of like cool like dynamic posing going on, and then they would have like a comic book page and it would be like Superman and he would just, you know, be doing something cool. Wait, that's not right. They would usually do like a full body. He'd be like, here I am shooting laser beams from my eyes while like deadlifting a car while
Yep, that sounds right.
holding a baby, and he would just be like swooping in and just zoop, one leggy up, one leggy down, like that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So I grew up on like staring at those a lot, and then when I hit middle school, when I actually had access to a library that had more of a what's the word, diverse selection of literature. That's when I started getting into anime and manga, because I think my first anime was probably Sailor Moon and like Digimon. I remember watching Digimon religiously.
Do you know what mine is, Vic?
So what? What's yours?
You know what mine is.
Oh, do I? With the super long legs and the super aggressive sideburns and the smirky smile. Yeah, yes. I totally know what your first anime is, Lynn. In the Fiat. In the Fiat. Can't forget the Fiat. Yes. Oh, God. I can't wait for that movie to come out.
Hold, please.
Oh, no. You're doing something. I know what you're drawing.
I love
We laughed for like 10 minutes straight on some Lupin the Third fan art that we were perusing through. So this is where we're at right now.
I like how you just call it fan art.
It's what it is. It's exactly what it is. That's the technical term, and that's the clinical term, and I'm sticking with it.
Anywho, continue. I'm just gonna draw this over here.
Okay, you can draw over there. That's fine. But yeah, so I guess
this is important.
Fair. That's very fair. So when it comes to posing or like trying to find some kind of structure within what you're drawing, I think usually the first thing to know is, one, how anatomy works. So kind of spending a lot of time studying anatomy. Life drawing classes are always fantastic for getting a good grasp of a good grasp of anatomy. You know, those fun classes where it was like 8 a.m. and it was like 40 degrees outside and it was super cold in the studio, and you're running on half a cup of Earl Grey tea while you're staring at a naked person who is on their phone watching Pokemon on Netflix.
Fun thing, like, because one of the things I used to get asked a lot, because I do lectures and stuff sometimes when I get lucky, and one of them was like, oh hey, how does like college art classes work? I'm like, oh well, yeah, you get your like models and stuff, and they're like, oh my god, models.
Whoa, like, naked people? What? Yes, naked people. They're gonna be naked. Yeah.
And it's funny though, because I remember like being in college and being like, oh my god, this is gonna be super weird. They don't make it's not weird.
That's not weird.
It's weird for like 10 minutes maybe, but you like our teacher was like, okay, here's the model, he's naked, whatever. You have 10 seconds to gesture draw him, go, and like you completely forget.
And you're like, oh fuck, shit, hold on.
Exactly, because I think that's like the best way to do it.
Yeah, and I think that's the best way to start learning anatomy is like, and there are online sources for that. You can go online and they have models that you can look at, and you can pick to where you could do gesture drawings. It's like, okay, I have 10 seconds to draw. It's like, okay, 10 seconds, draw this pose real quick, and then it's like 10 seconds later. Okay, now they're over here doing this thing. Like, you know, Ada. In my Fiat. Oh, God. God damn it, Lynn.
It needed to happen. I'm sorry.
Okay, it happened. It's there.
I'm saving it, and then I'll erase it.
Sorry. Okay. But yeah, so those classes like that definitely help. Also, another great way to learn posing and to learn basic figure shape is to when you learn anatomy is taking what you see and breaking it down into basic shapes. So like, let's see. I will draw. I will come up with a thing. Okay. So for instance, we're gonna draw Cole because Tabitha is our student today. So, what do you see Cole doing in this moment?
What do I see him doing in this?
What do you want me to draw him doing?
Why is it the first thing that popped in my head is regretting life choice?
Okay, so we're gonna. So I know a pose for that. As we start all the way down here. Okay, so as we can see, I'm starting with as always start with a circle. I mean, that's how I usually start. I don't know how everybody else has like a different method, but like
I definitely
do that too. I start with a circle.
So usually the first thing I do, the skull, the whole.
Yeah, we'll get to that later on.
Yeah, gosh. All right, so this a point for me to make right now is the fact that I'm drawing his head at an angle. So if I was drawing Cole like from the front, like so if I was doing like just a straight up like front drawing, he would pretty much. This would be the general face shape that I'm giving him. Yeah. But as you can see, I have it tilted, so it's like you have that foreshortening that's kind of happening to where he's got the 5 head and his chin is tucked so that you can see just that angle that's happening there.
So like a turnip.
He looks like a turnip, yes. So you're drawing a turnip first. So first you draw the turnip. That's how turnips look. And then from there I just kind of... For me, it's just, I just start kind of guessing where things are because this is the base sketch, so you're not trying, you want to have some, structure to it, but you don't have to like go straight in for rigid details just yet.
I think that's what I do when I do my sketch later. I'm trying to fill in rigid details.
No, you want to, so what you want to do for your sketch is you want to go as loose as possible. You don't want to like spend forever like going like that. You want to keep your lines simple and loose so that you can understand. I don't know why I was wasting all my undos on that.
And that goes for traditional art as well, like with a really light pencil sketch and stuff.
Which
on digital.
Hey, look, that goes into lines because your line weight and how you draw your line definitely affects how your drawing is going to turn out. I remember.
Someone say line weight.
Line weight, Lynn. You want to talk about line weight?
Line weight. I love line weight. All of my art has like stupid
the chonkiest lines, and I love them.
I can't do it on this one, but
that's probably something I always have an issue because like my lines are weird.
Okay, yeah, I noticed that when you're like, okay, so what I want you to do, try to mimic what I'm drawing. Let me move Cole over real quick. We're gonna do this like an art class. I want to move him over here. Actually, let's expand this. Expand this, please.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna expand it to the right. So,
okay, that works for me. All right, so I'm gonna start. I'm gonna go back some. Okay, so you can just follow me on this if you want. So make sure you're on the right layer. So layer check for sketch layer.
Yes, I already made sure of that.
Okay. All right, there's your circle. Fantastic.
Make your lines.
Yeah, so make sure to make your lines first. So, what you want to do?
Those are going to guide you to where your jaw is in your eyes.
Yeah. So instead of that, so what you want to do? Here.
Oh God.
It's okay. Hey, you're okay. So I make my circle, and then depending on which way the head is turning, I always make sure to put my guideline first. So say I'm having my character look up at the sun and staring at it because West likes to challenge Paylor sometimes. So I would do my guideline up here so he can just be like, bitch. But here, I'll back up all the way.
So is this what I have so far? Or...
Right, yeah. So I would put my circle. I would do my line. So you want to kind of make sure that your line is like curving so that you know that your eyes are going to be going down. and then you're gonna kind of take your I like to take the cheek and I just kind of tuck it into that line.
So like that.
Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah. And then
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
Cheek.
That's actually better than what I did. Hell.
What?
I was like, that's actually better than what I did. Wait up. All right, there we go. Yeah, so usually what I like to do is I like to make sure that it's shorter because you're gonna
Like that.
yeah, you're gonna be foreshortening. Oh, thank you for adjusting the opacity. Yeah, that looks good.
There.
All right, so yeah, so you make sure you got that. Another fun fact, even though this is kind of like I'm throwing a lot of things at you at once. Fun fact for me. If you're not sure where your face is, if you're not sure of like how it looks, sometimes what you can do is you can add like another line that kind of gives you like where the side of the head is. Something like that, but that's going to mess me up, so I'm not going to do that. But sometimes I just use the ear. The ear is actually a very good guide because anatomically, whenever you look at somebody's face, typically the tips of their ears are always going to align with like essentially where the eyes are. And then your earlobes are always going to be kind of like under your nose or like by your nose at least. So it's a good kind of guide to know where things are. Mm-hmm. So like say that I take that ear as a guideline, I could just like swing that in, but like that's just getting like too detailed. But essentially that's where I know, okay, so this is where, well, it's difficult because he has pointed ears. Like if we're talking like a normal human ear, like kind of like what Lynn's doing up here. But like, you know. But we'll get into this.
The trick I have for pointed ears or non-human ears is that where they attach on the head, so like right here, lines up with the eyes. That way you can make the ears do whatever the hell you want.
Oh yeah. Oh damn.
Yeah. That's what I use, at least. Like where they attach to the skull is where the eye line is, so that way your ear can do whatever it wants.
All right. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of going for. So you wanted Cole regretting his life choices. Yeah. So my idea of regretting your life choices is Cole is just in a full squat, just like that on his face. Like as I'm showing Tabitha the gesture itself, but basically just having a whole moment. So you're so
concerned but only squat.
He's concerned but squat. Yeah, concerned but squat. So basically it's sometimes like because Len's mentioned it before, sometimes like she'll like take pictures of herself like in those poses or like having her hands do things so that she knows how it's supposed to work. So it's always good to kind of have an idea.
You have no idea how many times I've like been like, John, I need you to hold this cane as if it's a sword, and like taking pictures to like figure out how it's supposed to look.
Right, yeah. So basically it's just kind of like thinking how that squat's gonna work. So you're like, okay, head's down, my shoulders are gonna be up, so his shoulders are gonna kind of tuck up a bit, and he's gonna be kind of scrunched. So whoop, there went my tablet. Hold on. No. Sometimes I unplug something. Yes.
I do look up references. It's just
references such a savior. References will always save you.
My ADHD allows me to only look up so many poses and go, this isn't what I'm looking for, this isn't what I'm looking for, and then I just quit. You know what I do, actually? This is actually something that I do sometimes. Because I get what you mean. How you want a specific pose, but then you find something that's kind of similar to it, but not quite. It's like, it's just not quite what's in your head. So here's what I do.
Frankenstein the pose.
So what?
Frankenstein the poses.
Exactly. I will take...
Copy paste.
I will take.
I have done that.
Yeah, I will literally like suture together like different poses to get what I want.
Yeah, and
I do it all the time.
Just
okay.
Oh God.
And so what I do here, because I have him squatting, so I just kind of want to define where his chest is, so I know like essentially where that's at. I kind of use the spine as my guide. Because like usually whenever you're doing, from what I've learned from figure drawing, they're like, okay, so there's your head, and so there's your body, and what you want to do is you use the spine as a guide for how basically how the body is going to like contort and rest and etc.
So you might also see this. You might see this a lot too. where it's like,
Yep.
or like the points, like the armature looking stuff.
I can't do the points. I've always done the guides where it's just like whoop.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
There's a million different ways you can do it.
Oh yeah, there's hundreds. Whatever works for me, maybe might not work for you. There might, like, the armatures might work for you, like kind of like, you know, puppet construction, but
they don't.
They don't.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna try my way.
Also, another one I've seen is where, like, I see this a lot for digital art, where they'll just like make blobs, like silhouettes. Like
I've seen that. That
yeah,
that's
and then
I admire that very much.
That's like next level stuff. But like they'll do blobs and then they'll like slowly keep like chipping away at it until it looks immaculate. And that's value.
That's value. We're gonna value. That's something I don't quite understand. Right. So yeah, I just kind of use I kind of use the spine as a means of figuring out where it is I'm going. So, and usually what I like to do is I like to section the midsection so you know where things are. So right here I have just underneath his pectorals, and then here is where his rib cage is. So again, it kind of falls into like basic knowledge of anatomy. So it's like, all right, so my pectorals are always going to, granted it depends on the pectorals, but like they'll usually sit like above where the they'll sit like right above, and then you have like several more inches before the rib cage ends. And so that's a good way to kind of section, especially if you're like stretching or squashing a figure. And then I have his lower abdomen right there, which I kind of use to I kind of think of it like a Barbie doll in that sense whenever I'm drawing the legs. So I'll just have the basically the end of his torso, and then I'll just kind of do that like ball joint that kind of helps me figure out where the leg is going. Yeah, that's kind of how I learned them with what you got here.
Yeah. Where it's like you break it down into shapes. So like there's a
basically
circle, and then this is the rib cage bean, and then this is
I love the rib cage bean.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then just kind of like and it's always good to like think about like kind of like, you know, ball joint, like kind of like a doll ball joint. So always knowing, you know, using a ball joint for the shoulders, so you know where those are. Sometimes it's good to know for the hips, because that's you don't know exactly what direction they're going. Leg out. No. That's just a habit at this point. So for this one, his legs are kind of gonna go in. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to figure this one out. I might have gone too complicated. That might be best. Yes. Okay, I'm doing that. We're gonna learn perspective in a hot second. I'm not the best teacher.
But you see how Vic is like, the sketches are very loose, and you just went back and you're like, no, that didn't work. Redo.
Yeah. Which it's okay to do.
Like the sketch layer is the dirty layer. Like it doesn't have to be perfect. It's like,
yeah, my sketches are a mess.
Especially with digital art.
There you go.
Everyone tries to make the sketch layer beautiful, and it doesn't need to be.
No, like, my sketch layers are incomprehensible. I remember the one time I was making the new character card for Ragnar, and I sent it to you, and I'm like, this makes no fucking sense. And it was just like, literally, here's the page, and it was just exactly like that. And it's like only I could see what I was doing.
But like, this makes no fucking sense. The reason for that is because that's you figuring it out. You're solving a problem. You're
basically
trying to,
which
it's you getting your like thoughts down.
Oh yeah. And then and like, say for instance, sometimes I'll go back and I'll clean up my sketch layer so that I can make more sense of it. Yeah. So like I'll get a darker color and I'll just like start going in with details like real quick, like,
yeah,
you know, kind of like that. I'll do that just to help make sense of it. But yeah, so you did fantastic here. Like you managed to keep the knees at the same level as they're supposed to be, because they're technically it's supposed to make sense in the sense of they're proportionate. So the knees are the same height, they're the same, the thighs are essentially the same length. So you did fantastic with that. Okay, I'm gonna go over this with a different color so it's easier to see. So, all right, so we've got this knee right here. So we're gonna kind of just draw his leg over it. And then I kind of do a bean for the ankle because, again, that makes sense to me. But that's because on the ankles we have that little bone that just kind of like is there.
Sticks out.
Yeah, it just kind of sticks. Bone? Yeah, the ankle bone. That thing. That's what that's called. And I just kind of like bean out the rest of the foot, especially if it's facing forward. Because I remember there was like I specifically remember I received a drawing book once upon a time, or no, it wasn't a drawing book. I actually sat in on a children's book illustrator talking about how he would like do drawings, and he's like, you know how like when people would draw 2D characters, they would draw their feet like this. And he's like, no, that's not what you're supposed to do. And like he like blew my 9-year-old mind when he's like, technically they're supposed to go like this. And I was like, oh shit, what?
Yeah.
That blew my goddamn mind as a kid.
I remember having an art teacher tell me, like, you know, when you that was my only issue with like realism, but this was elementary school, and at the same time I don't think that art teacher knew what the hell they were doing.
I'm gonna be real with you. For an elementary school art teacher, probably not now.
Yeah, no, I just remember...
Which I guarantee you there are probably some, like, elementary school art teachers that, like, know their shit. But, like, I'm just gonna say, I was at that point in my life where I was hunting desperately for a job, and I saw an Indeed ad for being an elementary school art teacher. So, take that as you will. But, yeah. There's his little butt. Yeah, you did good. That looks fantastic. Yeah, and I forgot to mention that, but yeah, keeping the like how your little toe beans just kind of do that thing. I know how to English good. All right, now let me figure out his arms really quick before I tell you how they do how to do them. This is just so.
See the gears working.
It's that picture of West where he's just like, calculations.
He needs his tongue sticking out. Blip. Blip.
Exactly that.
Perfect.
Big thonk. I think, okay, so I'm just gonna kind of guesstimate here, but for the most part, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so basically it's a lot of, sometimes you can just cheat it because, you know, while keeping in mind how proportions work and how like the body works and stuff, you also have to think in terms of perspective, which that gets into more complicated territory. Mm-hmm. I love perspective. It's such a great thing. So it's like, you know, sometimes
I love perspective too, and that's something that I've been messing with as a
which that's fantastic to learn. Like and I fuck up and I gotta like figure out what the fuck I'm doing real quick, because it's like making sure that everything lines up, everything is where it's supposed to be. There we go.
So kind of like that.
Yeah, basically. That looks great. Yes. And then as always, I just kind of like go in and I just make sure that everything is what it should be. Don't forget his little tail.
Floof.
Which, yeah, and you know, especially when it comes to fantasy art, you kind of have to like, in a way, it's almost like you're playing a guessing game, but at the same time, you know, it's also using things that make sense to you. So it's like, naturally, we don't have people that have protruding tails that are that long. There are people that have tails, but, you know, that's not a... Anyway. Just saying. I'm just saying.
You're like, neither here nor there.
Neither here nor there. It is possible for people to be born with tails, but not to have tails of that extreme. So it's like thinking how, like, you know, how would the tail sit on a person? Like, we know where our tailbone ends, so just kind of, like, working off of that, where... and you're already going for the horns. Good job.
I'm just
No, you're doing fantastic. Which, yeah.
Because his horns do that thing where they go out.
Yeah, no, I
and
know.
then back in.
Sometimes what I do for horns is I kind of like find my starting point, and I just kind of...
Shit, that's actually smart.
I just do tubes, is what I do. And I just kind of... Boop.
Well, I can't go back any further than that. Oh, well.
That's why I don't try to rely on the undo tool. There you go.
Okay. But yeah, I see what you did with like the shading
Yeah.
for that.
I just kind of, so I know how the horn is going to be sectioned, so I just kind of sometimes block off.
You're giving yourself notes for future you.
Basically, that's what I'm doing, yeah. There you go. Fantastic. Actually, let me... I like his little horns. There we go. And you did your first sketch. You got your sketch down for Cole.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Usually at this point, I'm actually already trying to put in the hair and all this other shit.
Oh no, I save the hair for like detail work. So so basically, like if you want, you can do what I do, and I go over it with the darker color. So I'm just kind of like figuring out where his hair is gonna be. I don't like think too hard on it, and just like, okay, so he's got a big baggy robe, so we're gonna draw this thing like, you know, like that, and just trying to remember where everything is. He's got a belt, he's got a shirt. You gotta remember he's got his armor under his shirt.
Mm-hmm.
He's got his little booties. You know, just basically like the sketch layer is like you kind of taking visual notes in the sense of that's going to help you as you're going down the line. One thing, yes.
I just want to point out, like, this purple layer right here is the sketch layer. This next one is like the define layer, and then after this you would probably do your line layer.
Yeah, then I start on my lining. Although I do notice one thing that terrifies me is this terrifies me, and artists with this power are amazing. Sometimes they'll just like start coloring right away, and then they'll go in with the lining and like clean it up, and I'm like, what? that's
what a lot of like digital artists who do
like painting and portraits.
It's called color blocking.
Yeah.
And I'll get into that later.
Okay, well, we'll get into that in a hot second. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're doing stylized first.
Yeah. So, if I can make a note about how I'm noticing your lines tab, I noticed that I used to do this a lot too. You kind of break your lines up as you're drawing. What you want to try to do is keep one consistent line as you go.
So that's the thing, and I think this may be my tablet.
You think it's your tablet?
Look it.
Oh, okay.
Just me drawing.
I got you. Okay.
That's literally me. I did not lift my pen. That's me drawing a line.
Okay, I got you. All right, so it's a tablet thing.
Hold on. Is it a draw pile thing? Is it the pen you're using, like the adjusting on it?
I think it's because it's a Surface Pro, so it's a stylus that's not meant for like what our tablets are meant for. So I think
pen pressure.
Yeah, I think it's a pen pressure thing.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah. How light can I go?
See, now there it went.
Damn, I can go pretty light on that.
Yeah.
That was me. Now that was me just going really light with the pen.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Now when I apply pressure.
Yeah, you don't get much pressure, I've noticed, because I'll like. Yeah. Okay. No, as you were. It's okay.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to figure.
Yeah, so just kind of figuring like where like little minor details like his boots, like his coat.
You're basically dressing up your little doll.
Yeah, so you've made your mannequin, and now you get to dress him up.
Okay. And I'll admit, as someone who does try to like figure out like, you know, what to, like with subjects that I just want to draw.
Mm-hmm.
I always have a bitch of a time trying to figure out style.
Which just again reference always looking at, I never know what to do for outfits, like ever. And it's a lot of like looking at things that you see online, like if there's like a specific style that you're looking for. I usually like to base them off of characters that I've seen. So like I'll look at characters with like very specific styles. I'll like actually compile folders on my Pinterest Like
we have
so many Pinterest folders, which I think a part of that comes with me also coming from a lifestyle of cosplaying. So it's like I will see a specific style and a specific costume and I'll be like, that, I want that, and I'll just like go into that. I'll find the initial pin for that, and then I'll just fall down the rabbit hole of related pins, and I'll just like save everything as reference. So that's what I do. Right.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. No, you're good. If you want to keep filling in your details, you can do that.
Yeah, I can.
Lynn, tell me about color blocking. I'm very interested in that.
Oh god, color blocking. Okay. This falls into value.
Oh, value. I'm fantastic at value.
Here. Let me see if I can replicate this, because I take online art classes.
I want to try to replicate with you.
I love doing the thing. So, let me. I might have to make more room. So hold on.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Sorry.
This is a long canvas.
I know. So for color blocking, I'll be simple. So what they do is, instead of doing like a sketch, like how we are super used to doing, like that, they work solely on silhouette.
Okay.
So they'll be like, okay, so here's a head. Like it's all colored in. So don't even think about what you're doing. And they'll be like, okay, this looks cool. Let's give the hair, and then we're going to, here's the neck, and here's their shoulders, like that kind of situation
Lord.
happening. So it's all one color, and they're the only thing that they care about is if it's a good looking silhouette. So you get this blob.
So would mine count as a decent silhouette, or?
Yeah, like the whole point of color blocking is to get the, let me stretch this slightly. To get a silhouette that's interesting, because that's what makes a character interesting, according to color block technique. So you'll have, this is my silhouette, like I'm making like a woman is like what my general thing is here.
Okay.
I'd be like, okay, so this is kind of like a dark gray color. So then I'll go in with a lighter color.
Okay.
And then I'll be like, okay, so let's figure out where her face would fall.
Oh shit.
And like, oh, it's something.
Damn, I should have started with a lighter color than black. Oh god. So like, So okay.
And then like, oh, let's add like little feathers in her hair and stuff like that.
Okay.
So that's basically her skin color, and then we'll go in with like a super dark color. Let's go with black. We'll do our blackest black is what I've always been told it's called. Like your darkest darks and your lightest lights.
Blackest day. Wait. Never mind. Don't listen to me.
Okay.
I was trying to remember something. I'm like, no.
So, and then something like this, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna put like the shadows into her hair, and define some of like the strands of hair that she has. But they essentially work kind of backwards. And it's all about, like, figuring it out this way versus a sketch.
Yes.
And it's really bizarre. Like, it's not something I do at all.
Yes.
But, there.
Oh, dang. I gotta practice that more. That looks like fun. I've never, like, worked outside of, like, the structure of line work, so...
Yeah, like here, I'm gonna actually send you my lesson that I did.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's go back to Cole.
How does that look?
That looks fantastic. Yeah, so we're gonna go into line work now.
Oh god.
Grayson, can you please lower the opacity?
So this is where I go just to plain Jane.
This is where you go straight into line work. So basically, it's kind of like the technique of you have your thing down. You got your. It's like, you know, opening the manga page, slapping down a piece of paper on it, and tracing over it. That's basically what we're doing at this point, which means you're just making cleaner lines. So a lot of it is just kind of. I usually start around the head area. You can start wherever you want. But yeah, so it's just like making sure your lines are clean, which is absolutely a nightmare to do on Draw Pile, but you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just kind of, and from there it's just kind of like free game for how you want to do it. I just immediately go. I just immediately go for it. So I just do my lines. I start adding my details as I go, and I just, you know, essentially, you know, clean up the piece and make it readable. So as for the face, I know we have like the whole like little eyeballs going on, but this is like where I start to like actually make a face.
Oh my god. I mean,
he's seen things. He's seen things. Does anybody want to talk about that whole conversation from last night? Yes, no, maybe so.
That was a
which one?
thing.
There was a lot of conversations had.
I think the one between Ariel, Cole, and Addie was super fantastic.
God,
y'all were like really on it. I was like, oh damn, oh, what is happening? All of this over my boy? What? What has my boy done?
Care to make a deal with the dead? That was fun.
That was pretty cool. I was really into Ariel accepting that wager. I was like, oh shit. Y'all are gonna.
It's like, let me have him for a bit.
This is some My Fair Lady shit happening here. We're making wagers over who can better the barbarian boy.
Well, I really liked that burn Addie did, where he was just like, you may have known him longer, but I don't think you know him.
That was harsh. That was
He's
super
not
harsh. Does anybody in this group truly know West? He's
figured out.
He's never told anybody about his child. Like, I don't think he's ever truly told anyone about like his childhood or his past or anything. He just kept that on lockdown and just never said a word about it.
I know. That's what the point he was making.
Woof. Woof. Oh, man. My friends are fighting.
Here is where I will sit here and say, I freaking hate drawing hands.
Hands are the devil. The hands are an absolute curse. Okay, so hands are a special kind of hell that you kind of, all right, here's my secret to hands. Fuck. And all right, I'm going to tell you my secret for hands right now. I'm going to start out right here. Okay, so what you're going to do is I like to start with the circle, because that kind of represents that kind of represents like the bottom of your palm. And from there, I start to just kind of summon the devil. I give him 5 years off my soul, and then he teaches me how to draw hands.
Yeah, no, that's about it.
That's about it.
You have five fingers for the 5 points in the star.
Yeah, 5 fingers for the 5 points in the star, and then next thing you know, I have a hand. And here we are.
Oh my god.
And that's how you draw hands.
I hate how perfect you planned that.
Yes.
Hands are the devil.
They do say idle hands are the devil's work. Idle hands are the devil's work.
Sometimes I can do hands, sometimes I can't.
It depends on the stars for me.
Yeah.
Stars. Not today.
I mean,
can't do it.
Hands are like the best like example of breaking things down into simple shapes.
Which it makes sense. Like for me, it makes sense because hands are so intricate in themselves, like anatomically. Like if you peel off a hand and you see like all of like the tendons, the carpals, the muscles inside, and you're just like, holy shit, these are very delicate tools.
Mm-hmm. But
Also,
yeah, whenever I do hands, I usually just do like squared stuff like this.
yeah, mittens.
I do the mittens, and then as I do line work, you'll go over and like flesh them out. But for comic style work, I just kind of leave them like this, just because I like very squared looking hands.
Meat mittens. My favorite
realism.
My favorite kind of hands are always like the ones that kind of. And I think Lynn can call me out on this for sure, but usually my favorite kind of hands to draw. I'm trying to figure out how to pose this. Yeah, this is usually how I like to draw them. Is I like the long clawed hands, the very slender, delicate things. Yes.
I like big square sausages.
I know. I know Grayson.
Well, it's funny though, because Grayson does have hands like this, but like his fingers are like a little bit like longer, kind of like oh.
Yes.
He's a little bit daintier. Yes, precisely that. But that's a style choice that I enjoy, and I consciously make.
Which, hey, sometimes like the best thing about learning the fundamentals is you learn them all, you basically ingrain them into your soul, and then you learn how to cheat them, and it's great.
And that's how you're able to do it so fast. Like what you're doing with Cole over there, that's a perfect example of like, you know how anatomy works, you know how posing works, and you can just do it super fast. And you know the years of doing it.
Yeah, I know. That's $23,000 certainly helped, huh? No, they didn't.
I feel like our school like teaches you how to learn how to do it on your own.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think I learned more on my own than I did actually in a classroom setting. I've learned more off of online tutorials than I have actually with a teacher breathing down my neck telling me your line weight is wrong.
Yeah. And I'm going to bring something up. Vic, you'll remember this conversation we had with someone where they were like, people can't go to school and do the thing, so that doesn't like make them less of an artist and stuff. Do you remember that conversation?
I do remember that conversation, and it's I understand where it was coming from, but it's certainly, school definitely like what you said, school helps you like learn how to learn. And there's I'm trying to think how to word this, but it's like, I understand that not everybody has access to formal education. College is a scam.
Or studios, because we were talking about going and doing the live studio things,
which naturally, jokes on us, now we can't do that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, but this person was getting upset, saying, some people don't have access to that, but they can still be artists, and that 100% agree. But I think where the miscommunication was where we were discussing art as a profession instead of a hobby.
Yeah.
But I, especially now, school sucks, can't afford it. I understand, that's cool. There's 1,001 places you can learn online, and
yeah, it's I do remember mentioning that. It's like there's thousands of you can take online classes. Like I know there's you have your one. Yeah, you have your one. You have your online classes. Your one specific place you go. I know. The hashtag Skillshare is another place that you can go do online classes at, and they have like hundreds and hundreds of things you can do. Skillshare, sponsor us, please. I hear about them all the time, and I've looked into them. They have a lot of stuff you can learn. It's nuts. But
the person wasn't wrong. You can still be an artist and do that kind of stuff. But I think where the miscommunication was, we were saying in a professional setting, if you do not take the chance, any chance you get to better yourself and have that critique and the feedback and that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, critique's always important.
You will not do well in a professional setting.
Yeah, no, I agree.
If it's something you want, you need to work your butt off and make those formal things happen.
Yeah. I do agree with that. It's especially when it comes to like what you mentioned, like critique is very important. Like you need I feel like critique is very essential to bettering yourself in just in any aspect, whether it be art, writing, you know, filmmaking, or personal, or just personally. Yeah, like you need those critiques so that you can, you know, figure out where it is you need to improve. And that's always important. And you know, I get it, not everybody has the skin for it. Like, you know, I remember when I was first receiving critiques for not my art but for my writing, and like people would be like, oh, I don't like this, or you know, I don't understand why that is. And it's just your immediate instinct is to just get defensive, but then afterwards you kind of step away from that and you're like, okay, but maybe they did have a point. So it's always helps to have fresh eyes and fresh opinions on something. So I think, yeah,
we critique each other all the time.
Yes.
All the time.
Like, I will literally I'll message
you and be like, Vic, I don't know how to do this, help.
I know, like I'll send you a screenshot of like something I'm working on. I'm like, Lynn, this looks weird, what is wrong? And then you're just like, bro, you overextended the arm, it needs to go inwards. And I'm like, oh shit. Like it helps to have that person just to be like, hey, you need to do this instead of that.
Yeah. And like a thing that falls back onto you know, learning art, taking critiques, is a lot of people will say they'll cover their mistakes or like their lack of like understanding the fundamentals and just say, oh well, that's my style.
Yeah.
Like I hate that. I hate that a lot.
Mom, don't pick me up. I'm scared. God.
Look at that. Look at your beautiful little baby boy.
That looks so good.
Traumatized. I know, that looks really good. Oh, I really want to see what you can do without the constraints of draw pile, because draw piles.
But at least you know, Tabitha, you know the steps on how to kind of go about it, and like it's going to be very annoying.
Yeah.
Because it'll take time. But
for sure.
Then you'll be able to whip it out in no time.
Whip it out.
Whip it out.
And then from there, it's like, okay, just going into coloring. So basically, you know.
Yeah, I have like the basic understanding.
No, I know you have a fantastic. You have a fantastic.
Over there just doing.
You have a fantastic eye for coloring. Like I've noticed that about you. But yeah, I guess for sake of tutorial purposes, like then that's where you go into coloring. You learning your color theory, knowing what colors complement what works best for like drawing the eye. What's your yes. Oh no! Don't you dare bring that back into my life! Don't bring that back into my life!
I'm hurting myself.
Don't bring that evil back into my life! God damn it, Lynn!
Boop, boop.
You should do the one where they're overlapping. That's the one that hurts me the most.
Oh, where it's like the wheel?
Yeah, it's the
that
like
one?
No, not the wheel.
Blend?
Kind of like, you know how it. Okay, let me see if I can do this with this. Hold on. It's
Look,
like,
also, the Star of David there.
Star of David, congrats. Where it's just like that, and then like...
Oh.
You know, that shit.
That's blending.
Yeah. Well, they'll be like, here's your primary colors, and then you're just like, yeah. And then it's like, you know...
And this mixes stuff.
And this makes... green, and this man, what happens when you mix all of them? It becomes brown. That's what happens when you mix them all.
Fun fact. Oh, so I actually, in my watercolor class, I learned something bonkers, by the way, that I didn't really grasp until she explained it.
Oh.
But it was talking about.
Tell me more.
Hold please. So like right here we've got like the blue, the yellow, the red, and like the green, the purple, and the orange. And it was talking about like, hey, you know how when you paint, sometimes like you'll try to make a green, but it turns out like kind of brown and muddy looking.
Yeah.
That's because like this blue in particular is more of a cool color versus like the blue that looks like this, even though it's very subtle. But like,
oh, I see where you're. I see this. I see
like,
it.
because this one's pulling towards purple,
That's
and
right.
this one's pulling towards green. Like, and it's like if you have two that they both need to be going in the same direction. Like it blew my mind. I'll have to get into that later, but
I like that. That's fantastic.
Specifically with watercolors, because it was like there are a million different types of greens and a million different types of blue. How do you know which ones are going to complement each other? And it says like you need to pick the colors that are trying to pull from the same place. Where it's like you need to have like a purpley tinted blue and a like blue tinted green or something.
Okay.
It was crazy.
But like, what if I want like a chartreuse and like a neon red?
Like that's not chartreuse.
Whatever. I think my brain said teal, but my mouth said chartreuse, and I was like, wait.
That is not chartreuse.
Again, my brain said teal, my mouth did not. I had a disconnect.
Oh, hold please. I'll see if I can. Let me see if I can blend them together as you guys continue.
Yes. All right. So what do you want to know next? Don't ask me about colors because clearly I don't know them.
That's chartreuse.
I know what chartreuse is. Again, my brain.
That's okay.
My brain went teal. My mouth did not.
I don't know.
Like a dumb motherfucker. I'm being tagged in things, and I need to figure out what it is. Oh no, it's a TikTok. I love when I get tagged in TikToks.
I can't think of...
You can't think of it? So line, shape, value, texture, color. Okay, so whenever you're doing another picture, what's another thing that gets to you? Like, would you want to practice more posing? Do you want to like... What's something that you've always wanted to try to achieve in your art career? I should ask.
I know it's probably not the place to say backgrounds.
Backgrounds? We don't do backgrounds in this house. We do solid picked colors on square what?
Nothing.
Say it.
No, I tried to move my beautiful like 7 degrees to red thing, and I realized I put it over the line layer, and I was like, oh god, so I put it back.
No, I mean,
Lan.
it's funny that I'm the one saying that when I'm working on a comic where literally my first panel is a freaking
I like background.
Library.
Hey Lynn, you want to talk about backgrounds?
Sure.
I'm like, hey Lynn, you're doing a comic that has backgrounds and stuff.
Backgrounds, yeah. Here, let me save this real fast.
Speaking of backgrounds, something that I noticed revisiting some old mangas and stuff that I used to read a lot. Every chance they got, they would never draw a background, and I thought it was the funniest thing. It's really easy. It's really easy to notice too, because it would always be. If there's anybody that has a who recognizes this style, forgive me, but it was a specific shonen comic that I would read a lot, and I noticed going back on it that there were so many panels where it would just be nothing but white space, and then it would just be a character in the foreground looking surprised. Draw Alistair. Look at those eyes. Look at those eyes.
Like, even the comics that I use for reference for, like, paneling and stuff like that, like, in a lot of scenes, it's super simplified unless it is an establishing shot.
Anyway, so there's... Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. But, like, I think, like, 80% of the panels were character in foreground, white space, character in background, looking malicious.
Oh, like they're in the Demiplane void?
Yes.
Looking suspicious. Oh.
Looking sus!
Right then. It looks like he just got kicked in the head. Get out.
But yeah, I just noticed that was a trend that happened in a comic I used to read. I was like, oh, that's something. But no, I totally get it. I know there's several pieces of media that do. I think there's one anime and a manga and like I think like a live action drama that goes into like the intricacies of comic making, and that's actually fantastic. It's actually really fantastic to watch. I don't remember the names of any of them in this moment because my brain is spaghetti. Spaghetti.
Same.
Spaghetti.
But yeah, so backgrounds, Lynn, what's up? I think that kind of goes into. Yeah.
Space. It also goes into value and color.
Value, color, texture.
For backgrounds, not really.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, should I
yeah. Yeah, I can save this. I can save it, yeah.
Okay. I'll say I saved it on mine too.
Well, good for you. You're way ahead of me.
It's very, very elongated canvas.
It's such an elongated canvas. I'm like, good lord, we're gonna delete this and be like, we have so much room for activities.
Oh my god.
Wow, it's so big, and I'm just like, looks at what I just opened up. Yeah.
Oh, you just looked it up?
No, I looked at my comic. Look at this. Vic.
What up?
Look at this crap.
One, it's not crap, but holy shit, that looks amazing. Boop. There we go. Look at all this room we have.
Look at all the room.
You could fit an entire Grayson leg in here.
Oh my god. So backgrounds. I'm trying to find like an example that I've done before, but I can't.
I want to do mushrooms.
You want to do a mushroom background?
That's a very long leg.
Yeah, hey.
Don't mind me. Actually, needs to be frowning more. There we go. That's more. That's more on par.
And he would be very happy to be under that boot.
Yes. He is. Can't you tell? He's ecstatic.
He is so happy.
The happiest.
That's the happiest I've ever seen him in his life. So, Tabitha mentioned wanting to do a mushroom style.
Like a mushroom forest?
Like a mushroom forest?
Yeah, maybe.
With the little mush man in the middle? Just like...
Hi.
Hello. Here I am. I stay here.
Oh. He's so cute. Hi.
So, how would you go about starting your background, Lynn? Just give a sneak peek into how you do things.
Let me pull up one of the.
Whoa.
What?
That was an aggressive line that appeared.
That's like my side of canvas.
You're like, mine.
No, it's I like categorizing things.
That's fair.
Sorry.
That's fair.
Fine.
Fine.
Let me see if I can find.
Move him over here.
Fine, I don't need him.
You're fine. I'm gonna save this Addy because he's cute.
Hey, fun fact, if you type in Alistair Webtoon on Google, it'll show up. That's fun.
That's so exciting!
I know.
Whoa, we actually show up in a Google search. Ah!
Yes!
Cool, that means when I tell people that they can look up Alistair and they'll be like, what the fuck? And they'll type it in and it's like, bam!
You just type in Webtoon Alistair and it pops up the first one. Anyway.
First search, fuck yes.
First search. Y'all, we've done it.
We've done it!
We've peaked. So, at least stylized wise, because I'm not very good at like the reels and stuff yet, I always make you always want to make your horizon line. So this is the line that, the Earth.
Do you want me to get rid of this Addy? I'll get rid of him.
there. He's doing great. I like how he's just kind of looking off into the wall.
His barnacle's there. It's a barnacle.
This kind of goes into like perspective talk, where it's like, oh, this is like your what is this called, Vic? I forgot. The vanishing point.
Vanishing point.
Yeah. So if like we're taught like this in art class, where it's like, this is a road, and like the things that get closer to the vanishing point get smaller.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, so it's like, oh, this is how you figure out how big stuff needs to be, and like anything that gets closer to this point gets smaller.
Yeah.
Is essentially it's not something I think of too much, to be honest, but it's good to, I guess,
remember.
Keep in mind. Yeah. It basically, the closer it gets to this line, the smaller it gets. So for like a mushroom forest, all of the stuff that's going to be up here are going to be much bigger than back here, clearly. So when I make these, I usually start in the foreground, and I'll start like, we're gonna do mushrooms, so I'll make a little mushroom, but it's a big mushroom because it's closer. And we're gonna make a troop of mushrooms because I learned that's a thing.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of a heavy foreground and background because it adds depth perception. And if I were on if I were on a proper program, like these would also be like blurred. I'd blur them out a little bit to kind of unfocus them, to show that they're very close to the camera and that your focus should be back here and not these. So,
ooh,
again,
fun fact on chat. The iconic Super Saiyan look was made because Akira Toriyama wanted to save his inker work coloring in Goku's hair.
That's very kind of him.
Shortcuts! I love it.
Wow.
God, I can... yeah. I can imagine. I always think... I always look at, the Dragon Ball and the Dragon Ball Z mangas, and I'm just like, how much money went into ink?
Right.
Too much.
Too much money.
Too much money.
What?
I saw the detail you added.
Squeak.
Squeak.
Giuseppe, what do you see? All.
Giuseppe sees all. He can't hear anything, but he sees all.
The mushrooms back here.
Ooh,
they're
look at
far
that.
away. But then, if you want to be extra. Hello. You want to be extra and be like, wow, like they're really far away. But if you want something to look like just gargantuan, like you can put like a mountain range back here.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, oh my god, these mountains are fucking huge.
Those mountains are fucking massive!
They're huge because look how tiny these things are.
Whoa.
So that just kind of helps with the it makes the image more interesting. Whoa.
Whoa.
Also, fun fact that I've been doing a lot lately, like, you know how these mountain ranges are, they're the closer of the mountains, so they're gonna be like super dark.
Oh yeah, then you
And
got
then
like your ones
with-
with far in the distance that are like, yeah.
The super light. So again, it's like depth perception, like Inception.
Inception, deception, perception.
But as far as like comic book stuff goes,
Yeah.
I would not put this much effort into a scene unless there's a point to it. If Alistair, like, yeah, if I wanted to show like the showcase, like the world that he is in, I would have like this big theatrical production happening. But if he's just talking to somebody, I'm not gonna go out of my way to have like all this crazy stuff happening in the background, because it's not the point. Because one, it's going to be covered by text.
Yeah.
And two, a lot of these scenes, like that are big like this, they're meant to slow the reader down.
Yes.
Because they're taking in a lot more information. But where you're having a conversation, that's where like things will go much faster. So they're gonna like read these so much faster, and the background means nothing.
And then in the panels where you're doing fight scenes, it's just like ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Like they're like
yeah, fight scenes are they go by, they're showing a very quick moment in time.
Oh, yeah.
So almost no background. It's a very just aggressive color.
Which, comparing like how fast like people read comics and consume them, it's such a difference as compared to like when I'm actually writing the script. So like from my script writing courses, I'm sorry, microphone, for hitting you. From my script writing courses, essentially how they would teach us how to draft a script is 1 page equals 1 minute, basically.
Oof.
Basically, they're like, all right, so you're writing a 30-minute TV special, like you're writing a 30-minute TV episode. Okay, so each page is going to be a minute long, and so that's usually how it works. And then you throw all that towards somebody, and they're just like, it's consumed like that. So it's, then again, script writing for comics, script writing for TV and film is vastly different. So it's I think it's interesting how I'll write out like things that take me forever, and I'm just like thinking that, oh, this we're gonna have a good long while for this, and then next thing you know, like, oh, we're already on chapter 5, and I was like, oh shit. That's like half the script I gave you. What the fuck, Lynn?
Yep. But in comics, usually like a page like this, or like a vertical version, or like someone's doing something like super like actiony or whatever, and it's like, yeah.
I'm gonna fight the monster.
they're called splash pages.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They're meant to slow the reader down and say like, look at this and take a break, kind of.
Yeah. Cleanse your eyeballs for a second.
Take it in, yeah. And I have a couple books of Junji Ito.
Oh yes, I love his stuff. So visually.
But that's he plans out his comic panels to where it like leads up to a big splash page, which is like something super gross and grotesque.
Yeah.
And that's like super detailed, and it's when you turn the page that you'll see it, and you're just like, ah.
It's like such good shock value too. Like that works so well for like visually for like writing horror stuff.
Mm-hmm. Fight me. Perfect.
Yes.
But as far as like landscaping goes, if you want something big and theatrical, I have a Pinterest board where I just like throw out all of like the different ideas, and then I just kind of like mush them all together into one. So again, reference.
Reference is always important. Here. Right.
Buh.
Can't wait for next chapter.
Oh god. It's good time.
It's gonna be so fun. Yeah, so. Yeah. Backgrounds are a thing.
They're a thing that happens sometimes.
They're a thing that happens sometimes.
I'm enjoying doing background more so now.
Yeah, your backgrounds are getting great, and I'm excited for like the whole background concept art you're doing for October. That's exciting.
Awesome.
It's so awesome. Oh god, that temple, I love it.
Oh yeah, the temple.
Yeah.
Yes, Tab.
No. Yes. Thank you guys for for taking the time out of your day to basically teach me fundamentals.
Yeah, always.
Aww.
You feel free to ask, and same goes for anybody. If you ever need help with like something art related, or like, if you're making your own piece, or if you want to get started on art, hey, we're free sources that you could talk to at any occasion.
Mm-hmm.
We are friendly. I promise.
We friendly.
We friends. Giuseppe not so much. I don't trust him.
Giuseppe's a sweet bean, thank you.
I was about to say, I'm like, don't blame Giuseppe.
I'm not blaming Giuseppe. It's just that he's got a glint in his eye that's making me nervous.
Giuseppe is a good boy.
Giuseppe is a good boy. You have to yell at him. He can't hear you.
Giuseppe!
He wants your bell pepper.
He wants the bell pepper?
Yeah.
He can have the bell pepper.
If I know rats, they love bell pepper.
They love bell pepper?
And dark chocolate.
Oh.
They can actually eat it.
They can actually eat dark chocolate? I learned something new today.
Yep.
As a dog owner, that actually scared me. I was like, what? No, don't give the babies chocolate.
Nope, they love it and it doesn't do...
That's so crazy. Oh, man. Oh, wow. And we're like almost at midnight.
Here's an idea.
What's an idea?
Can I give you guys an art prompt?
Okay.
For your, I guess, do you guys end at 12?
No, okay, kind of. It doesn't matter. We have it's a suggestion.
The Demiplane is a lawless land.
It's a lawless land.
Can I give you guys a creature art prompt?
Creature art prompt. Yes.
Go on.
I love me some monsters.
I just hit. These are randomly generated.
Yes.
Dragons made out of vegetables.
Holy shit! That's my jam. Okay. What kind of vegetable? Pick one.
That is up to you to decide.
Alright, let me save this
Broccoli,
really quick.
cauliflower, carrots. It could be anything.
Let me save this really quick. I'm gonna definitely save that Addy for sure. Okay. So I got that saved. Whoop. Boop. So dragons as vegetables.
Yes.
Or vegetables as dragons. Which one is it?
Vegetable dragons.
Vegetable dragons. I'm staring into the abyss, trying to
I'm just like, huh.
What vegetable do I pick? There's so many. Let me think.
Silence.
I know, I'm just like, oh, what do I draw? I'm gonna draw because it is October. I'm gonna do a pumpkin dragon.
Nice. I'm gonna do.
I won't say anything.
What?
Nothing.
What?
Nothing.
What'd you say?
It is a gourd, so yes.
Yes, it counts. Pumpkin is a vegetable.
I'm gonna do a turnip.
Turnip dragon. Oh shit! We had a perfect opportunity to do a mushroom dragon. We just fucking failed. Alright, so you're going over there?
Yep.
Alright, I'm gonna draw a pumpkin first and figure out what I'm doing.
This is gonna be ridiculous.
I'm gonna love every second of this.
I'm excited.
I'm trying to think what angle I want to go for. Do I want to go for cute or do I want to go for, like, my usual brand?
That's up to you.
I
know me, I would go for something cutesy.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
You're like, yeah, of course you would.
I love it. Thanks.
Trying to like figure out how I'm gonna do this. I think.
Pokemon.
It's essentially what I'm going for here.
I mean, these definitely could be Pokemon. The silence.
So damning in the silence. Good lord. We're so focused. Okay, let me think. Okay, so yes. So, how's everybody's weekend?
Good job, A+.
He's round and shaped like friend. Yes. Apparently I have an affinity for like always wanting to draw things that are like round and shaped like friend.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh wait, he has the tiniest wings. There we go.
Oh my god. That's so cute. It's a spoopy dragon.
It's a spoopy dragon.
I can only imagine it making the sounds that pugs make. That.
Thank you for perfectly replicating what a pug sounds like.
I'm attempting to work on voice acting.
Hey, I believe in you. If you want to go into voice acting, please do it. You are fantastic with voices. You have the creepiest goblin voice that you used on us Thursday night. I will never forget that. That horrifies me still.
What?
I guess for context, so we had a Thursday night is the game is usually when we play with Shane as our DM, and we decided to take that night off, and we just hung out and we played Among Us with essentially with the party members and then a few people on the Alistair Discord. And for that entire night, I don't think Tabitha once got imposter for our one game where we played hide and seek instead of our normal Among Us game. So it was basically the whole everybody, the imposter announces who they are. Everybody has to complete their tasks as fast as possible before the imposter kills them. You're not allowed to report, and so on and so forth. And so basically you either go until you finish all your tasks and win, or the imposter kills everyone.
Great.
It's fantastic. And then Tabitha, for the longest time, she never got it, and she was getting so frustrated with it. And then by the time she finally got to be it, she had the creepiest goblin laugh, and it scared the hell out of me.
Thank you, Nick. That voice was epic, Tabby.
It scared the hell out of me. I was like, good God, we're all gonna die.
You guys ended up winning because I couldn't see diddly.
I mean, yeah, that's how it works. It's
I mean, I was moving way too fast, and
we were all wasting. We were all moving way too damn fast. That was a good game. That was a lot of fun. It's so great because we would all play like in character as our characters, and like my thing as Phoebus would be, oh, an inconvenience happened. I'm not doing that. That's not my job. I'm not going out of my way to electrical to fix the lights because every time I do, someone fucking murders me.
How rude.
I know. The nerve of them. But yes. Tabitha does really
Yes,
good voices.
I like doing like the weird.
You do really good. You do a really good Gollum, and that's always fun.
I do a good goblin. I do a good hag.
I said Gollum, but yes.
Huh?
Gollum.
Oh, Gollum.
God, stop. No, please do it again.
I'll never forget in theater when we had that one guy that would do Gollum's voice, and then I came in and I did it behind them, and they're like,
never do that
no
again.
girl should be able to do that sort of voice. And I'm like, well, I can.
Well, I think girls should be allowed to do creepy voices if they want to.
Yep. I enjoy doing the weird, creepy voices.
It's fantastic.
It's also a delight when I don't even realize you're in the room and I do the voice, and then you just stop and stare at me.
And I'm like, what the fuck was that? What did you just do?
Turn up.
Turn up, dragon. This now's the time of the night where we just go dead quiet because we're like trying to finish this.
You're in the zone.
We're in the zone. Wait, I'm gonna flare his little wings out because they're gonna be like the leaves on the vine.
Yeah.
There we go.
Vic, I will say this right now. Your dragon looks like it would just get angry, like if it was so much as an inconvenience if you just happened to walk by it.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, and?
Yes.
If it's just sitting in the middle of the pick it up and just move it over as it still growls.
Yes.
Angie.
What's that? No, I would think it makes the same growl that that Nick does for Rancor whenever Rancor's mad. I love that tiny little alligator growl.
Yes.
So cute. I'm just like, oh, he's mad. Okay.
Dude, Lynn, I love the
your watercolor classes are like really paying off. Like, holy shit, that looks fantastic.
I learned a lot in those classes. I still have like 6 more creatures to make. But
oh, nice.
To finish, because I actually haven't done watercolor in like a couple days just because I haven't had time.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's gonna be like the thing I do on my Monday for myself. So
hey, those classes are really paying off. Like you put that whole creature together and painted them fairly nice.
He's cute.
He's so cute. I'm still jealous that your teacher is the person that did like concept art for Dark Crystal. I'm still mad about it. I'm like, what?
Oh, she's super cool too,
Oh,
and
man.
like she like goes out of her way to like find people's Instagrams and like who are taking her class. Oh, she's so nice, and she's like, oh, she actually she picked out the blue Fae I made. That remember where you're like, make it blue.
Oh
remember?
yeah, I remember that.
And she's like, because like his original colors were like greens, I think.
Yeah.
And I did the blue because you were like making blue.
I'm like, make it
and
blue.
She's like, I love the color combos. I was like, yes.
Oh, nice. Got called out by teacher. That's always nice.
Thanks, teacher.
Thanks, teacher, for acknowledging my artwork. I feel like
she has like, because I always tell you about like the lessons and stuff. I'm like, oh my god, she's like speaking my language right now.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, you were telling
her whole situation.
Yeah, you were telling me about that, and I was like, holy shit, that's very specific.
I know, it was very cool. So, good stuff.
Very good stuff. Yes. Yes.
I'm just watching you guys.
Yeah.
I like that.
Thank you.
I don't know. Do you have any other like questions or inquiries about art in general?
Yes.
I mean, it's a better way of me to go about.
Mm-hmm.
rather than constantly doing all these extra steps that I make myself do.
I think repetition helps. When I first started, especially when it comes to transferring to digital art, because I used to do a lot of my stuff in sketchbooks and like just loose leaf paper. So I find that repetition definitely helps, and learning how to find shortcuts for yourself. Like also I feel like laziness factored into it for me. So when I first started, I would God, I would have like 500 layers on just like a simple like shoulders up bust. Like full color line art. Like I would have like 500 layers on that, because I would have a layer for each color. I would have a layer for like the hair. I would have a layer for like the line work for the hair. Like I would just like give myself so much work by doing that, because I was so afraid of messing up. So I think the repetition, repetition helps, because once you get used to doing it, the less afraid you are of screwing up. Also, screwing up helps a lot, because then you just be like, fuck it, whatever. Like once you hit that attitude of, fuck it, whatever, then you start to kind of loosen up your style and loosen up what it is you're doing, and then finding those shortcuts kind of helps. It definitely helps you like figure out like how to work smarter, not harder, basically.
Yeah.
So I think
I usually only have like 3 or 4 layers now.
Yeah, same. Sometimes I'll like do it all on one layer just because I can't be asked to care at the moment. So like I'll just be like I'm gonna do I remember when I first started messing around with Drawpile, I just kind of like did everything on one layer because I just didn't care to ask for anybody to make new layers, because I was never hosting. So it's just like, you want another layer? I'm like, nah, it's fine. I already colored over it and shit. It's whatever. But yeah, just I would say challenge yourself to try to do everything on one layer, just to see how much you can simplify it.
Yeah.
Like that's just a fun thing I feel to do. No, I don't like that. I want more color to it. More color. No. Yeah. Okay. You know what? I don't like that. Changed my mind. But yeah, definitely repetition. Play with the tools. See like what you can do with them. I give up on that fucking highlight. I don't care. Also having that attitude of just going, fuck it, whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah, like one of like the things I learned
don't aim for
was
perfection.
that it's not that it's more of the enjoyment of art, and like making it isn't from the final product, it's the process.
Yeah.
Like you should never be sitting there making something and hating every second of it.
Yeah, basically. Also, doing art for fun and for yourself is always a good way to keep yourself, kind of learning as you go, because it's like say for instance, you're doing your whole comic for Cole, like, so that's actually a fun experiment that you're doing for yourself. You're testing your limits. You're trying to see what new things I could learn doing this.
Yes.
So
I've been messing around with different perspectives. Because it's a lyrics comic. So.
Yeah, I actually want to make a lyrics comic for Wes, but I'm just like trying to gauge my energy level for it. And this is probably something that I need to learn how to do. For comics, I never touch them digitally. I always hand draw them, because I feel much more in control of doing the panels myself and like spacing them out, as opposed to doing it on a fucking program that would probably make my life 100 times easier.
Try it.
I'll have
Sucks.
to try this. Thanks, Lynn.
Paneling sucks, I'm not gonna lie. Because like the way I do the Alistair comic is I have a very specific canvas that I use that's for the comic.
Yeah.
And I do the entire panel in those dimensions, and then I have to open. Well, once I have all my panels done, I have to open another canvas that is specific to the Webtoons layout.
Yeah, Webtoons has a very specific layout.
and then I have to transfer each. I have to literally cut and paste each panel and like assort them onto the Webtoon format one. Because if I draw directly onto the Webtoons format panel, it'll be very pixelated.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a pain, but you know, you'd make do.
Right.
You do.
You just do.
You just do.
You just do it. But yeah, just, experiment, play around, don't... I don't want to say don't aim for perfection. Like, that's... The image that you have in your head is already technically a perfect image as opposed to what you're going to put on paper, and that's a whole thing. I forgot the words I was going to say with that, but yeah, just the whole...
You will never make what you have in your head. Just
yeah,
FYI.
yes, you will. Whatever is in your head, you can never recreate it perfectly. I don't know a single person that can be like, what I have in my head is perfectly replicated on paper or tablet, and I'm like, you're lying.
Yeah, it doesn't happen that way.
You're lying. Yeah, it doesn't, and that goes for... I feel like that goes for just about any medium, especially like mostly art, but like I've done this before with like writing and filmmaking. Like, it's the image of what you have in your head is already a perfected image, and you're just not factoring in the skill and the time and whatever else that might go into it that would keep it from being that perfect image that's in your head. So
Perfection doesn't exist.
Perfection doesn't exist. Be kind to yourself always while doing your art. Yes. Don't, like, it's... I know we all kind of go through that syndrome where you're like, you look at what you're doing, you're like, this fucking sucks, nobody's gonna care. Like, that's a whole mentality that happens.
Vic and I talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
Like, anytime we're having a situation, we're just like, hey, this is happening. We have to just remind each other, like,
basically.
Hey,
yeah, it's a thing. Yeah, having that kind of support system also helps. Like, speaking with other artists, the online art community can be a thing to navigate. It could be a certain thing to navigate.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially if you are making a career or like getting some kind of income out of being an artist online, you have to be careful because it can be a very toxic mentality that you can fall into. And so sometimes you have to rear yourself back and remember why it is you're doing art. Mm-hmm. Which for most of us, it's for fun because we like to do it. Mm-hmm. It's a fun passion to take the weird synapses going on in our weird jelly meat brains and making it visual. It's supposed to be for fun. It gives the serotonin.
Right.
This little pumpkin dragon gives me serotonin.
It is, baby.
I love them.
I love them. I love the turnip dragon. He looks like he has such sage advice to give me.
Right.
Oh, great turnip dragon, what wisdom can you beseech upon me?
Also, I'm very, very sorry for going in and pulling out the kohlrabi. I'm so sorry.
The kohlrabi... Oh, no.
There you go.
Thank you, oh wise turnip dragon.
Thank you.
Please take this offering of grass clippings.
Looks down at the pumpkin dragon. What sage advice can you give me?
Be gay, do crimes. That's what I hear him saying.
Do crimes.
Be gay, do crimes.
In that little goblin voice, I love it.
Yeah.
Skitters
this
away back into the lettuce.
This awkward voice change makes for some weird ranges to reach. Oh God.
Skitters into the lettuce.
He just skitters into the cabbage patch, and you're like, well, that just happens. And the next thing you know, you're missing like $50 from your wallet. Which is weird because you never carry cash on you.
Is this like Stranger's Pumpkin or something?
Yes. You entered into Stranger's Vegetable Garden, and this is what you find.
Oh god.
Also, your shoelaces have been eaten.
Like you just hear slurping sounds of someone like eating spaghetti and your shoelaces are gone. and this thing just kind of waddles away.
Just making little pug noises.
Oh god.
So delighted.
It's about that time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna save these beautiful dragons. These are wonderful. And saved. These beautiful, beautiful creatures. Oh, that's beautiful. It has been named by Shane on chat the Jacko Drake.
Love it.
We need to write stats for this thing immediately.
Nice.
Or the Drago Lantern. Beautiful. 10 out. What? Cat? I heard a cat yell in the distance.
I love it.
Yes. So, I think we've done it.
We've done it.
We've done it. By Jove, we've done it.
Hello, everyone in chat, by the way. There's a lot of people in here.
Yeah, shout out to everybody in chat. Thanks for sticking around and learning fundamentals with us. So thank you all for joining us on this fine Saturday evening, or, in the future if you're watching on YouTube. So I had fun figuring out how to teach fundamentals. I had fun teaching my wonderful, beautiful girlfriend art fundamentals. With an awesome, crazy cool art bro that I talk to all the time.
All the time.
All the time, nonstop. She lives in my head. There's free space for rent apparently there. It's free real estate. And yeah, I don't know why I'm staring at my calendar like I'm expecting an answer to come forth from it. But yeah, so this was fun. Thank you, Tabby, for drawing with us and learning the arts. We hope you can take these lessons with you into the future and make more beautiful things.
Will do.
Okay. Let us know. Those of you that are on our Discord, let us know what you want us to do next for our next Demiplanes episode. You could always DM us, shout us out on the channel. If you're not a part of our Discord, you can consider joining for as little as $1 a month on our Patreon, which you can scroll down below and click the link and stuff. Check out Alistair. It's on Webtoon. It's live and it's awesome. And when does the next chapter come out, Lynn?
If you are a patron, the next chapter 6, is going to be coming out next Friday, so the 9th. And then if you're part of just wanting to watch it on Webtoon, that is going to be coming out the following Monday on the 12th.
Very nice. So yeah. With that, once again, thank you guys. We will see you next time. We'll see you on the internet somewhere, hiding in Stranger's vegetable garden that he somehow is miraculously growing. So hang loose and stay righteous, bros. See you next time. All right. Goodbye.